Right now, you're listening to the Championship Absolute Football Banter podcast, where we discuss upcoming fixtures, weekly match results, the table, all the clubs, and everything else. Right now, please welcome your hosts, Danny May, Tyler Tarft, Karl May, Dan McGee, Ash White, Ashley Slight, and other special guests. Sit back and enjoy.
Right then, guys, welcome back to another podcast. Obviously, it has been a while since the last one, but we're now back bigger and stronger than ever. I am joined by our hosts, Karl and Danny May, both Borough fans. Welcome to the podcast, boys.
All right, Tyler. All right, boys.
Hope you're keeping well. So, obviously, looking at the weekend fixtures, and it's quite a tasty weekend of fixtures, if I'm honest. We've got South Wales Derby, we've got Yorkshire Derby in there, and a big game at the bottom of the table. All interesting fixtures. But first one we'll talk about is Brentford versus Forest. Obviously, a 12:30 kickoff for this one. Brentford, a side that are pushing for promotion. Now they did last season and are the same this season. Forest, side that's trying to fight off the relegation battle. I think they're safe, but yeah, they're still trying to fight it off. What have any of you boys got anything to say for that?
Well, for me, Brentford have been playing well this season. Forest not so much, but all I can see is a Brentford win. It's not great that the fact that Forest are down there. They're quite a big team. We've got to be said. I know you're a Darby fan, Tyler, but I can't see anything other than a Brentford win, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game, but I'm still going to say maybe a 2-1 Brentford. I think Forest will put up a fight against Brentford. They know that they've got to fight right until the end, but I think it'll be a close, maybe 2-1 Brentford win. Karl, have you got anything to say?
Yeah, I think Brentford will have a reaction one. After throwing a 2-goal lead against Darby away, I think they'll be looking for a response, and can't see Forest coming through that one without a defeat.
No. So have any of you boys got to add to that game before we move on to the next one?
No, that's all right.
So the next game we're going to speak about is quite a big game down at the bottom of the table. It is a normal 3:00 kickoff, this one, and it's Coventry-Wycombe. Obviously, two sides that are down there fighting at the bottom. I think Wycombe are a side that are probably down and out now, if I'm honest. They've still got to show a bit of fight, but I think they are a side that is going to be one of the three that are definitely going down. Obviously, in this league, anything can happen. And I think Coventry are probably a side that will stay up. I think they can be quite a strong side and probably a side that deserve to be in this division. And I think if I were to predict this, I'd probably say something like maybe a 2-0 Coventry win. Have any of you boys got anything to say about this one?
Well, Coventry, when we played them, they played well. So, and I think, like you say, Wycombe are down, aren't they? Even though they have had one or two good results, haven't they? I think Coventry will win it though overall.
Well, the thing is, Coventry are 6 points above the relegation zone. Albeit, they got beat by Luton 2-0 on Tuesday night. Wycombe got a 3-1 defeat against, I think, Barnsley. Not really in form. I can't see it being a classic, but they've everything to play for. Coventry are fighting.
Both got to show some fight going into this game.
Oh, definitely, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
And I think whoever wants it more will get the result from this one.
I think Wickham have got nothing to lose, have they? Really now they know they're pretty much down, and they just have to enjoy being in this league for another. How many games you got left? 8 or something.
Yeah, about 8 or 9 left, isn't there? So so the next game we'll talk about then, Bristol City versus Rotherham. Obviously, Rotherham are a side that's fighting off relegation again. They've had quite a few postponed fixtures throughout this season. Obviously due to coronavirus, not something they can help, but it just leaves them with a lot of games to catch up with come the end of the season. And they're coming up, Bristol City, a side that's just got a new manager, and they've picked up a bit of form ever since. I think if I would predict the score for this one, I think it will be another close game, a bit like the Brentford Forest one. I think it might be like a 1-0 Bristol City. Obviously, Rotherham have got to show a load of fight and passion going into this one, or they're just going to get outplayed by a strong Bristol City side. Dan, do you want to have your say on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Bristol blow hot and cold, don't they? They're not a team that's consistent. I don't think they've had the best season, have they? They had a 0-0 draw with Blackburn on Wednesday. To be honest, I'm with you, Tyler. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw, or Bristol City will nick it 1-0.
Karl, do you want to add anything to that one?
Yeah, well, like you say, I think Bristol City, they have picked up a little bit, haven't they, since the new manager, and they are inconsistent. I think they've been like that for years, haven't they? That's how they've always just missed out. They look good at times, and then they look poor, don't they? But they'll probably have a little run from now to the end of the season and come somewhere close. But
yeah, well, I think Bristol City are probably a side now that their season's maybe over now. I don't think they'll go down, but they're not a side that's going to be fighting to go up. So I think they can be quite comfortable coming into these last couple of games.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of pressure. They're just impressed the new manager, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They're sat mid-table. They're in 13th place, so I can't see them getting playoffs, and I can't see them going down.
So the next game then has always been a bit of a rivalry between the two sides. I think over the seasons, Reading versus QPR. I think it's a bit of a rivalry over who's the fake hoops. I think that's been the case over the season. Obviously, Reading are a side that's much improved this season, pushing up for promotion in the playoffs, and I think they've surprised a few teams this season. QPR are a side that I still don't think is quite safe yet. Obviously, we know how quick this league can change. They could go from looking quite safe to a few losses, and it couldn't be back in the dumps. But Reading lost midweek to relegation side Birmingham 2-1, I think it was. So they need some sort of reaction going into tomorrow, and if they are to stay within that promotion race, they've got to change something. I think I can honestly see this one being a draw tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be anything too exciting. I think Reading are going to try and react from the weekend, but QPR also need something from this. So I think I'll say a 1-1 draw for this one. Boys, what do you want to say?
I think 1-1 draw somewhere. Even though Reading have had a pretty good season compared to the last couple, I still don't think they're really that great. They're not bad on the ball going forward and that, but defensively, I don't think they're that great. And I don't think much of QPR. So
for me, I think Reading have got a few half decent attacking players. They've got that Lucas Jow and that Ajaria. Both decent players. But yeah, QPR beat Millwall. They went 2-0 down, didn't they, and come back and beat them 3-2 on Wednesday. So, for me, yeah, it's a tight game. I'm going to call it a QPR win, if I'm honest.
I think there might be a few goals in it, to be honest, because I think both teams are capable of scoring a few goals on the day.
Yeah, I think with QPR having Charlie Austin back, I think that's a bit of a threat for them, if I'm honest. We know what Charlie Austin is capable of, and he knows this league really well, so it could be a threat for QPR going into tomorrow.
I hope QPR win, to be honest. Might do us
Yeah.
a favour for them.
Might do you a favour at top.
Yeah. Give us a slim hope of getting them playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one we'll talk about then, I think is Watford versus Birmingham tomorrow. I've quickly wrote it down, so I think that could be the fixture. Watford Birmingham.
It is, yes. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So obviously going into this game, then Watford are a side that's up there pushing for promotion. For that top 2, they really need something. Birmingham are a side that are fighting off relegation, but recently sacked Aitor Karanka, with a new manager taking charge almost straight away. And Birmingham got a reaction midweek, 2-1 win over Reading. So, yeah, they've just got to keep fighting now, and hopefully for them, they can keep fighting it off. For me, I'd love to see them lose. I need them to lose to keep us up. But, I do think Watford will win this one. I think they'll just be too much for Birmingham. I'll probably say a 2-0 Watford win.
I think Birmingham might get a draw out of this, and even maybe nick it after the other night. A little bit of a reaction in that. And even though Watford are back in form, aren't they? And they've got that second spot now, haven't they, so far? And while the others are dropping points, Brentford and Swansea, so maybe the due a bad result.
I think Watford is too strong for them. I know they've just appointed Lee Bowyer and the wins in the sales, and they're probably thinking, we've just won. Who was it they beat the other day?
What,
Reading.
Birmingham?
Yeah,
yeah, they beat Reading midweek.
Yeah, they beat Reading. Yeah, so they've already had a win now under the belt with the new manager. They will go into the game probably thinking that they can win the game. Otherwise, it'd be pointless turning up. But I think Watford are too strong. They got a 4-1 win at Rotherham on Tuesday. Yeah, midweek. So yeah, for me, I think it's going to be a 3-0.
Right. So the next game we'll talk about then, Yorkshire Derby. This one, Barnsley versus Sheffield Wednesday. Barnsley a side that are impressing quite a lot this year. Everyone would expect them to be that same yo-yo team that goes back down to League One. And what a season they've had so far. They're up there fighting for the playoffs, and could they do the bits and get them? Coming up against the Sheffield Wednesday side, who could go down this season. They're in the relegation fight. Even appointed a new manager in Darren Moore. And I don't think much has really changed for them. I don't think they've really got what it takes to stay up at the minute. They've just not got that bit of something that says, I want to stay in this league. However, I think that Sheffield Wednesday will get something from this. Anything can happen on Derby Day. We all know that with our clubs. When you come into your Derby Day, you never know what to expect. You can go and lose 10 games before, but then win this. So I do think I'm going to say a 1-1 draw for this one as well. I think that Sheffield Wednesday will get something out of Barnsley tomorrow.
I totally disagree. I think Barnsley are absolutely slap banging form. No one can fault them this season. Sheffield have struggled. I've got the table up here now. Sheffield are 23rd on 29 points. And
they haven't won in 8 games.
Barnsley are 5th in the league on 64. So, you can't see past a Barnsley win.
I just personally think Sheffield Wednesday have got as much to play for as Barnsley have. And with it coming into a Derby Day, I think that it's perfect time to, pick up a bit of form, if I'm honest.
I do agree. I do agree that, it's Derby Day and anything can happen, but I just think the difference in
different class.
The class is different this year.
Barnsley is second in the form guide, and behind Norwich and Sheffield at the bottom of it, aren't they? So I know Derby Day can be a leveler, but I don't know if it's that much of a leveler.
Right, so should we move on to the next game then? If we're done with that one,
can do.
Yeah. So the next one then are two sides that I think is season over for them. I don't think they're going up. I don't think they're going down. Preston and Luton. Obviously, aside Luton, that probably thought would go down this season. Preston haven't really done a lot this season. I don't think they've been great. And I see this game being a 0-0 draw. I just think it's two sides that aren't really fighting anything. They haven't got anything special about them. And I see this game just being a 0-0 going into tomorrow.
It's not going to be a great game, is it? Let's be honest.
I wouldn't fancy paying a tenner to watch that one.
No, definitely not. But yeah, probably a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
I just think they'll cancel each other out.
Not an exciting game.
No, definitely
I don't think
not.
there's going to be many goals, is there? If they get a 1-1 draw, that's probably about as much excitement as the last.
And then obviously you've got the Alan Brown, the Preston midfielder, will be out as well, won't he? From his red card.
So that's that one covered as well then.
That's it, yeah.
So the next game we're going to talk about then, Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, obviously, a side that could push further playoffs towards the end of the season. And Millwall are a side that probably mid-table will suit them this season. For this one, I think it will be a close game. I don't,
be careful.
For me personally, going to the Den is never an easy place to go and get a result. But I think with Middlesbrough having more to fight for, more to play for than what Millwall have, I think I'll just back Borough for a 1-0 win. Like I say, the Den's always an hard place to go and get some sort of result out of. I think over the years, probably a lot of teams will take a draw from there. Even when they're doing poor, the Den is never easy to get something out of. So I think, I'll say a 1-0 Borough for tomorrow.
They haven't been the same at the Den this season, have they? They're, I think it's 18th in the home table. So I think that's due to not having fans in, isn't it? I mean, I think a lot of teams,
same atmosphere.
A lot of teams are the same, and they're not quite as good at home this year. So our fanciers, I think we can go there and beat them. We need the points, so we never quite know what will turn up with us, do we? Some days we'll look pretty good or brilliant, and then other days we can be terrible. But our fanciers having a little run now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do. I think, the Warnock effect has been superb this season. I honestly don't think we'll get playoffs this season, in my honest opinion. And to be honest, I think going up this season's probably a bit too soon. I think, if we get a few good players in, and pick up a few wins, finish the league respectable, and push again for promotion, automatics next season. But, Millwall, it's always going to be a hard place to go. But I still think we'll get a 2-0 win.
2-0 or 2-1, something like that. Yeah. I think we'll edge it anyway.
Right, then we'll move on to the next one then. Norwich versus Blackburn. I think it's fair to say that Norwich are going up this season. They're just different gravy. I know they've got quite a lead at the top now, sitting in first place, quite comfortable. And I don't see them not winning the league this season. If I'm honest, they've just been a class above pretty much everyone else. I don't think they've really had too much of a dip of a form, or if they did, I think it was more closer to the start of the season, which is probably when you want to have a bad run rather than now when it matters. Coming up against Blackburn side that are probably going to stay in the league now. They're not going down, they're not going up. And I think they got a really bad injury. I don't know if it was midweek with Bradley Dack. So I think tomorrow's game, I think I'll say that Norwich are going to win 2-0. Obviously, they just need to keep going on their wonderful form, keep that gap big at the top and just win every game they can. And I just think there'll be a bit too much task for Blackburn tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Norwich 10 points clear. It's good. They're going to get some catching for anyone to take that away from them. Blackburn, like you say, There always are and always will be just a mid-table championship club at the minute, unless anything drastic changes with them. So I can't see anything other than a Norwich win, to be honest.
Yeah.
Blackburn have struggled with goals, haven't they, recently? I mean, considering the start of the season where they were bagging them for fun, weren't they? I think they've only
They were winning
scored
5-0 at the start of the season.
Yeah, I think they've only scored once in 3 games or something like that now. So, and with Dak out now and that, I think they're going to struggle, aren't they? They haven't got a lot to play for. They're pretty much safe, and then they're way off the playoffs. So it's just they just need to see the season out and see if they can improve and get people fit again for next year, don't they?
Next game then, I'm not looking forward to this one personally. Stoke versus Darby. Stoke are a side that's probably improved this season. I think last season they were going about the relegation zone. I think they're now sat currently in 8th, something like that. I know they're in that top half of the table. Obviously, going into this one, we go into it on the back of Brentford 2-2 draw, and we need some sort of reaction from that. We need to play like we did in the second half. But going into it, we were without 2 of our strikers. Colin Kazim-Richards picked up an injury midweek, and he is a doubt for tomorrow. And Lee Gregory obviously can't play due to Stoke being his parent club. So it's looking like for us either Martin Waghorn or we play Tom Lawrence as a false number 9. I honestly don't think we're going to do enough to win the game tomorrow. I think we've been poor for, I don't know, a couple of weeks now. And I can't remember the last win we actually got. It was before we played Forest. So it's been a while since we've got a win. I think my score prediction for tomorrow will be a 1-1 draw.
I hope you're right. That'd be a good result for us. Recent weeks, I think they've dropped a few points, haven't they? But I think their season's just about filtering out, isn't it? So come on, Darby.
Come on, Darby.
Up the Rams.
We need a Derby. We need a Derby win, just to, like you say, put that final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
But
I said at the beginning of the season I want the top 10, and that, so that'll do.
Yeah,
if we make staying there.
What I'm going to say is the exact same as the Luton game. It's not a classic, is it?
You wouldn't pay 10 quid to watch it, neither would I.
What I do want to say about that game is, would you pay 10 to watch it, Tyler?
No. No. But
Go on then.
Huddersfield Bournemouth tomorrow. It was meant to be tomorrow, but got postponed due to Bournemouth still being in the FA Cup. So, best of luck to Bournemouth. Go and present the Championship well against, I think they've got Southampton. So, go and present the Championship well, and best of luck for that. But the final game that we'll talk about then is the Welsh Derby, Swansea versus Cardiff. Both up there pushing for the playoffs and automatic promotion. Obviously, Swansea pushing for the automatics, Cardiff going for the playoffs. Cardiff are a side that's picked up form massively under Mick McCarthy. You know, they was fighting off relegation, and now they're up for the playoffs. What an unbelievable turnaround they've had under Mick McCarthy. But another derby, and I think for this one, I'm going to say a 1-0 Swansea win. I don't think it'll be a massive scoreline. I don't think either of them will dominate each other too much. But I think with Swansea pushing for them automatic places, I think they're going to want it just that bit more than what Cardiff will.
Well, for me, I'm going to say it's going to be a Cardiff win, and I'd hate to say it because that's what we don't want. As a Borough fan, Cardiff are a point behind us, but like you say, with these derby games, they've got out the window. Swansea got a defeat in midweek, I think.
3-0 to Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth beat them. Or was it Birmingham?
No, I think it was Bournemouth because Birmingham beat Reading.
Right, yeah, you're right. So yeah, I think there's Cardiff will sneak that. They've got more to play for, Swansea. Well, saying that, I mean, Swansea sitting third in 69 points, and then Watford are above them in 72. So, you can say they will still want to go for the automatics.
Yeah.
But they're sitting quite comfortable in them playoffs as well. So,
Yeah, I think Cardiff will want to they want to try and get in them playoffs, because imagine that is a playoff final, Swansea Cardiff.
Be crazy, wouldn't it? Absolutely crazy.
It's quite big stakes actually, that game tomorrow.
It's probably one of the games of the day, really, isn't it?
Yeah, probably one of the biggest games, hence why it's at 5 kickoff. I think it's on Sky as well, isn't it?
Right,
so
yeah.
I think it'll be a game that a lot of people will be tuning into, even if you're not a Cardiff or Swansea fan. It affects quite a few people within that top 10 sort of the table. But yeah, that's it for the weekend fixtures then. I think we'll very quickly go through some news that's recently happened. Obviously, racism towards a player, did you say, Dan?
Yannick Bolasie, and there's a few other players been racially abused. I mean, I think it's disgusting, to be honest, but as long as they're dealt with accordingly, that's all I can do to try and prevent it.
Mm.
I mean, we all like banter, don't we? And we all like opinions, but
that's a bit too far.
Shouldn't be coming into it, that should it?
No, definitely not.
But whatever happens will happen. Clubs will deal with it the way they need to. And anyone who's involved should, just grow up a bit. But, let's just let them deal with it, I suppose. But next thing I wanted to quickly talk about, where obviously the other day got confirmed that Darby's takeover has fell through. Mel Morris gave the potential buyers a deadline date to get it done by, and it didn't happen. So, now we look for new buyers. I'm kind of glad. It could be a blessing, that it has gone through, because the trouble that Newcastle had with them, they've always seemed a bit dodgy since they've been trying to buy clubs, in my opinion. So it's a guttering thing, but it's also could be a blessing. Grass ain't always greener on the other side. We could get these owners and they could just take us up shit street, really. So
I'd like to ask you, Tyler, if it does all go tits up, would you rather have a Lidl or an Aldi built on Pride Park?
I'll take an Aldi. I'll take an Aldi for the special buys.
Hopefully it gets sorted out.
Yeah. Cheers for the question, though, you mug. Dan, anything you want to add apart from if I want a Greggs built there?
Everyone loves the Greggs, don't they? £2 breakfast deal on a morning.
No, so anything else, that boys, on that?
I'm
just
happy,
hopefully it gets sorted out, because in all serious, we're all football fans and we don't like seeing clubs go bust, do we?
No. Definitely. So one thing I will quickly add on top of that while we're on about Derby is obviously Derby and the EFL have been battling for a while now with the stadium sale and many things that probably football fans will already know about. And it has come out that the EFL are going to appeal, because we obviously won the first case. The EFL are now going to appeal and take things further, because they obviously believe that we need to be punished for it. I think that it's going to be very hard to beat the EFL, if I'm honest. They've probably got top lawyers and everything. That is going to be a struggle to beat. But if Mel Morris has not done anything wrong, which, I can't see what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know all that sort of stuff. So as long as Mel Morris has done nothing wrong, we shouldn't lose. But with the EFL, you never know, because they don't really lose many cases.
Well, I hope you don't get punched, to be honest, because I think football league tables should be decided on the pitch, not on what people definitely do in boardrooms and stuff. So, but like I say, if there is something gone wrong, then fine them or whatever, even if it's daft money, but don't take the fight from that.
Yeah, I don't think it should be too harsh on them, to be honest. I agree with what Carl's saying, to be honest, yeah.
Just get it sorted. The EFL should get things sorted quickly and get it.
Move on from it. Whether that be whatever the outcome is, we need to move on from it. And, it's been going on for about a year or over now, and it's just taking the mick. So the next thing was they wanted to speak about, I think you boys wanted to quickly mention about goal of the month or something. Duncan Watmore or whatever.
So don't act like you don't know.
It was only
I don't know.
wasn't it?
I don't even know who we're against Thoreau, so go for it.
It was just a
Huddersfield.
wasn't it?
Huddersfield.
From
Little tap.
Huddersfield. Got the ball
Little
on the
tap
right
in.
wing, jinked around a few people, you know.
As
And,
you do.
Beautiful goal. So, yeah, Duncan Watmore.
We've all scored one of them in our time, haven't we?
Yeah, something like
On the
that.
five-a-side pitches.
Yeah, so
we wish.
I believe there was one more thing to speak about very quickly. I think that was the England World Cup qualifying team, or was there anything else?
No.
Also, Neil Warnock getting his getting charged
So
by the FA.
Neil Warnock got punished midweek, didn't he? I think personally it's a bit crappy, you know. You want to see passion and stuff like that from the managers, and as soon as they show a bit of passion, this is what they get. You know, one thing you want to see from players and the manager is a bit of passion. As soon as they show that, they're in trouble with the EFL or Premier League or whatever.
I think it was more to the point that he, in Warnock's interview, he sort of because the Swansea manager, his dad was some sort of referee gaffer years ago. He sort of dropped that. He dropped that into the post-match interview, basically saying that it was sort of fixed, and I think that didn't bode well with the FA.
I think if you're speaking the truth though, and the referees have got daft decisions wrong, crucial decisions wrong anyway.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Managers should be maybe they shouldn't do it in public, but they should be allowed to say to the referees, to whoever's in charge of the referees and stuff like that, shouldn't they really? Well, like you say, we love to see managers showing a bit of passion, don't we? So probably had a fair few in his time.
Yeah, it's not be the first and it not be the last.
No, he's definitely had a few. I think
he paid for the EFL headquarters with his money. He's
well, I think there's maybe one or two games that he hasn't kicked off at the end. The rest he's kicked off at every single game at the end.
Yeah,
but that's the passion. That's the old school managers that care about the club, not just the payday.
Yeah, definitely. So one more thing finally then. World Cup qualifying squad for England. I think it's personally good, you know, basing it on current form. I think it's good that we've probably dropped some of the players like Trent Alexander-Arnold to show that they do have to put in performances to get into the team rather than just saying, look, you're probably the best right back we've got, we'll throw you in. It means that he's got to pick up his form before the Euros. You know, he's still got time to give himself a good summer if he picks form up. The same with Henderson and everyone else who's underperformed, and it gives others chances to prove themselves as well. What's your boys' thoughts?
I like the fact that Ollie Watkins, you know, he's been playing well. Like the fact that he's been called up. Jesse Lingard, you know, fell out of favour at Man United, gone to West Ham.
Proved himself big time.
You know, yeah, he's playing brilliant. I think it's good what Southgate's doing. He's not picking on names, or you know, he's not got into a rut of picking the same people, you know, the same players. I think he's definitely going on performances. I think it's a good team, and I like the fact that Pickford's not in there, to be honest, to see what the other keepers can do as well.
Yeah, definitely. With Henderson getting first team football at United now, Nick Pope's always been good for Burnley, and I think Sam Johnson has been massive for West Brom this year. I think if it weren't for him, they could probably lose most games 4 or 5-0. I think he's been the difference between 5-0 defeats and 1-0 defeats, if I'm honest.
I think he's picked the informed players, which is a good thing, and a few new faces. Have a look at some what maybe haven't had a chance, like the keepers, like you say. So yeah, it's all been good. I'd have dropped Trent as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right then, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the podcast. It's been good getting back to it. It's been good having a chat. And make sure you drop us a follow or a subscribe, depending what you're watching on. Join our groups on Facebook. You'll be able to find that all. We now have a website as well, so most information you'll be able to find on there, and any groups or anything you want to find out. And yeah, thanks to Karl and Dan.
Well, thanks.
All right, mate. Right. Catch you later.
Take care then, boys.
Take care,
See you
boys.
later.
Bye.
Up the
Bye now.
Derby.
Up the borough.
Up the borough.